Yo, what's happening people? I'm Era from EraTheProducer.com and this video is a beginner's guide for Spanish type guitar melodies.
Era on the track.
So of course to start with, you're going to want to have your favourite guitar plugin loaded. When I'm making Spanish inspired melodies, I like to use nylon guitars because I feel they fit the melody better. So for this video, I've gone with the MG soft nylon. Like most melodies, I'm going to start by making a chord progression. For this one, I'm working in C minor and I've got my BPM set to 140. I already know the progression that I want to use for this, and that progression is the 1-3-6-5. If you're not sure what those numbers mean, they just correlate to the root note of the chord. To explain this in the easiest possible way, I've put down each note that's contained within the C minor scale. So we want our root notes to hit on the 1, 3, 6 and 5, so I'm just going to use these notes here to help me put them down. The first root note is going to fall on the 1, which is C. We then want to count up to the 3, which in this case is going to be D sharp, and this is going to hit on our second bar. Next we're going up to the 6th note in the scale, which in this case is G sharp. And then we're finishing out on the 5th note in the scale, which is G. But what I'm going to do here is just take the 6 and 5 and bring them down an octave. Now I can just delete these notes and then bring my root notes back to the start. So now that I've got my root notes down, I want to put some notes on top to build these out into chords. I'm going to start from my root note and skip one note in the scale and then place the next one, and then repeat the same thing again to create a minor triad. You should always experiment with inversions when making guitar melodies, as it often makes them sound better and more realistic. So I'm just going to take the middle note from my first chord and bring it up an octave. Then I like the sound of this D sharp, so I'm going to include that into my second chord and then maybe go up a bit higher. Then with this second half, I'm going to make the most of these semitone intervals to make the melody sound a bit darker. Now that we've got a basic chord progression down, we can start to humanize it a little bit and add some character. First thing I'm going to do is hit Alt and R to just randomize the velocities a little. And next I'm going to change the start point of some of the notes in the chords, and this is going to give us some rhythm. Next, I just want to take these chords and copy them across so I can add some variation to the second half. I want to keep this quite simple and just move or add a couple of notes so the second half sounds a bit different. Next, I've chose the Pick Nylon by Session Guitarist, and I'm going to be using this to lay down a top melody. Then again, I'm just going to copy this across and add some variation to the second half. So on that first guitar layer, I've just gone ahead and added a low shelf at around 120 Hz. On the counter melody guitar, I've also got a low shelf, but this time at around 300 Hz. Then I added rev intensity, and I'm using the omnipresence preset. Both of these tracks are then going into my guitar bus, which has got guitar rig loaded up with the vocal space preset. So I think I want this loop to be 16 bars long, and I'm going to have this counter melody coming in on the second half. This is going to give us a low energy section that can be used for verses and bridges, and then a more high energy section that can be used for hooks. Next I want to add some bass to the loop, and for this I've gone to the Scarby Rickenbacker bass. All I want to do here is copy the root notes from my chord progression, and I might just break some of them up to add some rhythm. So I'm over on my pre-master now, and I've got a Waves pitch shifter loaded up. Once I've finished my melodies, I like to experiment with the pitch to see if they sound better in a different key. The Waves pitch shifter is great for this, but I feel like it also adds a sort of warm analog sound too. And yeah, even though it's simple, I'd say that this melody is now finished and ready for some drums. And that is going to bring us to the end of the video. If you'd like me to do a follow-up to this video with some more intermediate and advanced techniques, then let me know in the comments. If you'd like access to this FLP as well as all the others from my videos, then you need to be subscribed to my Patreon. I'll leave a link to that in the video description. We're pushing to get 2K by the end of the year so I can drop this huge loot kit, so if you're not already, then make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you'd like to know how I make emotional UK rap beats, then I'll leave a link to that video up here. Then I'll just leave a random video from the channel down here. Big shout out to anybody that made it all the way to the end of the video. I've been Error, thanks for watching, and I'll hopefully catch you all in the next one.